Hey there, welcome to Hisably. In this tutorial video, I'll be showing you how to add a new vendor. Right when you log into Hisably, you'll see that in your account, you'll be in the dashboard page. From the dashboard page, you can add a bill or invoice. Once you actually create an invoice, from here, you can actually add a new vendor. Press on Add New. You can add a vendor just like this. This vendor is a purchase for me. Select department. I can search for one. Opening balance. I had an opening balance with this vendor. Next, salesman name. Salesman number. Add. Now, I can find him right here, Martinetti. Now I can move on and finish this. Also, there's another place where we can get to vendor settings as well, straight from the settings page. From the settings page, we can go straight to the vendor tab. If we go to vendor tab here, we'll see the same pop-up. You can add another vendor from here. In this vendor settings tab, you can manage all of your vendors, whether they are purchases or expenses. If you have not added an opening balance with a vendor, you can do so by taking action. Add an opening balance. After the vendor tab, we can go straight into the expense or purchase and payment section. From the expense tab, we can add an expense, add an amount that we would like to account for. Gutter cleaning services right there. Pay later. I have to pay him in about 30 days. Now I can submit. After submitting, I can see this expense right here, and I can also mark it paid, or edit if I need to. The same thing goes for purchase and expenses. I can add an invoice here. Now I can find a vendor that supplies me goods or services. Mobile phone accessories, it comes up automatically, and I get some other general merchandise from him. And that's about it. Submit. Now in the department tab, we can manage the different types of departments that our vendors supply, just by adding. And finally, in the expense settings, we can also add new types of expenses or edit old ones. And there we go. That's how we access vendor settings. At last, we actually have one more place where we can add a new vendor. Straight in the business report, we can go to Cash Purchases and Expenses. Add new. We can add a new one right here. Vendor name, purchase, and some snacks. Opening balance, I didn't have one. Add vendor. Now, I can find that vendor that I had before. J. Paula. And there we go. That's the last place that you can add a vendor. Just to sum it up, we can add a vendor straight from the dashboard page in the Add Bill or Invoice section. Next, we can go straight to the vendor tab, and finally the business report. Let us know if you have any more questions.